NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fish, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, nope, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI, where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI, where my people at. My people at.
Good morning, everyone. Today is a beautiful Thursday, January 23rd, 2020. Welcome back to the last honest place in America. Today, I want to talk about local politics, Cincinnati politics, things that are going on, upcoming elections. I want to talk about Bayard Rustin, who's going to receive a pardon. I want to talk about Botham Jean and his family. There's a brand new PSA. They're trying to inspire people and connect with people. And I want to talk about Black love this morning. Just to name a few things, 513-873-7134. Hope you've been doing well since the last time we spoke was approximately about 22 hours ago. And yes, I'm back at it again. Listen, numerous things. Again, I just set the table a bit, but as always, I'm open for current events, things that are happening during the show, things that are happening within the last 24 hours. A great way to post, you want to drop a link, you can do so inside the Chop Shop. And there's a Facebook page called The Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivy Show, and you can drop some things in there as well. And I will be going deep inside the Friends page to see what you've been posting. Not on, maybe a bit off the beaten path, but Elijah Cummings' widow says that Donald Trump's verbal jabs undermined her husband's health. And I'm thinking, verbal jab. I mean, how did him talking ish undermine Elijah Cummings' health? Quote, hurt him at his worst moment. That's Maya Rocky Moore Cummings. And she's a bit younger than he is. How much younger was his wife than him? Damn. So you doing out here? She's 48 years old. She is an African American. Okay. I see you out there working, Elijah. And, you know, now recently the dearly departed, he chaired the House Oversight Committee and was heavily involved in Trump's impeachment inquiry. He died 5 months after Trump tweeted that his congressional district, including Baltimore, was a disgusting rat and rodent infested mess where no human being would want to live. Well, let me say this again. Trump is winning when it comes to Twitter. And Twitter has been it's been one of his main weapons. Twitter is Trump's go-to weapon. And it works for Trump. Like, there are people out there who are afraid of what Trump might tweet about them. Like, I'm in the opposite. I wish Trump would tweet about me. That'd be great. But there's some people who are really afraid that he might call them out. And how do we know this to be fact? Like I told you, there's a new book titled A Very Stable Genius that just hit the press, just hit the bookstores. You can pick it up. A very, very stable genius. And there's many, many stories. But one thing that comes out in the book, and how do I know this? I saw the authors of the book. They were on MSNBC within the last few days talking about it. And they said after talking with people in the Trump administration, that there's a lot of people in the administration that stay in line because of loyalty, but they also do it because they're afraid of Trump's Twitter. Like Trump will say something on Twitter and then all his Trump minions will like actually start to multiply it, or they'll start to retweet it, or they may be out and about and see the target and say something on their own. They'll just pick up on it and it works. But if I'm Elijah Cummings, I mean, here I am, fighting for my life. Am I worried about what the F Trump is talking about? No. Elijah Cummings' widow says Donald Trump's verbal jabs undermined her husband's health. I just don't know if a verbal jab can undermine somebody's health unless you allowed it to get inside your head. I just don't see that. And nobody cares. Who gives a damn what Trump says or anybody else? You got to adopt that attitude. Come on, Elijah Cummings. Unless he really thought like, damn, Trump's right. Baltimore is a rat and roach infected. Like if what Trump said was true, okay, I can see it affecting you. But if it's not true, consider the source. Consider the source. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing you got to do when somebody says some crazy ish to you. You got to ask yourself, does this person's opinion matter to me? If their opinion matters to you, well, then you take it to step 2. If this person's opinion doesn't matter to you, then you never even get to step 2. Step 2 is what they're saying true? If what they're saying is true, then the smartest thing you can do is just to adopt it. But if what they're saying is not true, you just dismiss it and keep on going. I don't get it. I don't understand it, man. Listen, if I should have kept these kind of things and did like a mean tweet or mean message kind of thing. I get them from time to time. I've gotten them over the years from time to time. Primarily, I get them like, after other people perceive that something bad has happened or I've taken a backslide. But that's the nature of some human beings. Like there's always going to be people that's going to talk F shit. It's always. It's just what it is. And I just can't believe Elijah Cummings would allow what Trump said about him to have some big impact. I just can't believe that. That's hard for me to understand. Like, really? Like, why would you care about what he says? I mean, because he'll say anything. That's what I mean. That's how Trump, he'll say anything. But it's working, though. I mean, there are people out there, there are Republicans out there that'll never say anything about Trump because they're afraid that Trump will go online. He'll talk about them on Twitter. Oh, I'm going to show you. I'm not making it up. It's the truth. But, you got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin. You know what I'm saying? In this world, because people will say and do whatever you allow them to say and do. That's the extent of it. Hold on here. I want you to hear this. That's the extent of it. And especially coming from Trump. I mean, he did the same thing about John McCain, died of brain cancer in 2018. Great Republican, I guess. I don't know. But here's a clip from Maya Rocky Moore Cummings. She is the widow of Elijah Cummings. And so she went on this TV show talking about it. Talking about, the impact of his words. I'm like, number one, if I'm sick, don't even tell me that shit. I don't need to hear all that.
He was a lifelong advocate for civil rights from the time he was 11 years old. He was involved in creating change over the course of his life. What is the thing that stands out for you that was just stunning that he got done?
So he was a very empathetic man. He grew up in a segregated Baltimore, and so he knew what it was like for Americans' history of hatred to influence and depress the opportunities for a whole generation of people just because of skin color. And he was determined that he was going to live his life in a way that opens doors for everyone. And so he fought for voting rights. He fought for access to health care. He fought to make sure that our democracy was left intact for generations in the future.
When we think about civil rights heroes, we certainly think about Congressman Cummings and his dear friend, John Lewis, who I think everyone was saddened to hear is battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. When you look to the future, do you feel optimistic about the next generation of change makers and their ability to have that kind of impact of those two lions?
So Elijah and I were very, 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 we felt like this was our zero moment as a nation, that we have to make sure that we're all on the battlefield fighting for our future. And so, while, it does not look good in terms of President Trump and the Republicans, what they're doing to try to take us back 100 years in this country, the fact of the matter is that people are rising up all across the country. They are saying that we will not be oppressed. You will not take our democracy away from us. So we have hordes of women who are running, to take office. We have young people who are standing up and speaking out. And so I'm a part of that vanguard of people who are seeking to build on the legacy left by Elijah Cummings. And I'm actually working to run for Congress myself.
Good. So,
like that. She said that's the widow of Elijah Cummings. She's on with The View this week, talking about the legacy of her husband, but also how her husband was affected by Donald Trump's tweets, which I'm just like, really? I find it hard to believe.
He remained formidable until the very end, this man. He was just incredible. Just that clip that we just saw of him, the passion that he brought to the job, You don't see it a lot.
And that voice.
It
got me from the very beginning.
So he chaired the House Oversight Committee and was one of the leaders of the impeachment effort against Trump, which Trump did not appreciate. He was vicious to him about Baltimore. I'll read you. He said he characterized Cummings' Baltimore-based congressional district as a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess where no human being would want to live. How did Elijah take that? You say he wasn't afraid of him, and he was tough as nails. Did it hurt him?
It hurt him deeply.
Yeah, because he attacked Baltimore.
Absolutely, and it hurt him at his worst moment. Elijah was already battling health issues, and so to have the president come out and do this at that time, it really depressed him and it stressed him, and I think it undermined his health.
That is horrific.
Wow, it is horrific.
That is horrific.
What a terrible thing.
That is. I'm sorry. That is just.
He let it undermine his health. How is somebody's words going? Like I said, if it's not true about Baltimore, who gives a damn what Trump says? I don't get it. I don't understand it. But maybe you do. I don't get it. The only way you let it undermine your health is if it's all in your head and you're thinking about it like, well, damn, he's right. But if you think it to yourself like, oh, this is just some BS, why would you internalize that? I don't understand it. To me, that's the whole goal of it. Interesting. 513-873-7134. So that undermined his health, huh? We all should have fucking told him. Don't tell him. He was too sick to deal with it, I guess. Or clean up the rats. In fact, that's true. Anybody been to Baltimore recently? Anybody from Baltimore? Anybody been through Baltimore recently the last 2-3 years? I know the whole city can't be like that. Well, there it is. People that care what Trump think about them. But if it's true, it's true. You got to go clean it up. And here's what it is. Good morning to you. I'll throw the number out again, 513-873-7134. I saw that guy, speaking of Trump, I saw that Trumpster that beat up the older fella here in the city of Cincinnati and then went down, got arrested and was talking shit on the damn telephone. They're recording it. They use it in the case. He got jail time. That's something. Isn't that something? Yeah, he should be in jail. Should be in jail. That's what you deserve to be this morning. Yeah. Someone asked me about R. Kelly like a week ago. I haven't really believed it all. It's just that every line, it just looks bad for that guy. And then two of his so-called girlfriends, one of them has now been reunited with her family. There was a video of two of them fighting. And then after that, one of them was reunited with the family. They're willing to talk negatively or tell the truth about R. Kelly. I saw a video of this young woman who said that when she was underage, she went to R. Kelly's van or something like after a concert. Never a good idea, right? Like, enough is enough. You saw the concert. He walked past you on his way back to his van. That should be enough. But, young women in general want to go back to his van and meet R. Kelly. And apparently R. Kelly had another woman who was grooming these young girls on how to please R. Kelly. Now, my only problem with this, and it's a big problem, is that we're dealing with underage women. If you're of age and you consent to live with R. Kelly, then anything of that kind of variety, like you're doing sexy stuff or whatever, you're wearing stuff or doing stuff for him, that's what you're choosing to do as an adult. If you're a grown-ass woman, you've been living with R. Kelly for 2 years and you're his sex girlfriend or you one of his many girlfriends, okay. People do that all the time. You got young girls shacking up and living with boyfriends who are not stars. You can do what you want to do, but underage, come on, man. Why would R. Kelly do something like that? Sickness, just like Bill Cosby, sickness. That's all it is. R. Kelly's never getting out again. He's going to die in prison. By the time R. Kelly gets out, he'll be an old man. And then you go to prison as a sex offender. Who knows how, the inmates might view you. It's a bad deal, man. It's a really bad deal. I don't have any sympathy for the dude. I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. Hold on, let me look up something here real quick. No. There it is. Hey, there it is. I want to check something really, really quick. All right, cool. While I'm looking for that, I want to remind you that the Ohio Kings has an upcoming game. They'll be going against the Cleveland Blazers. That's the next home game. That's January 25th. That is a Saturday. Tip-off, should I say, is at 7 p.m. And you can find them on Twitter and Facebook under Ohio Kings. If you do a Google search for them, you can find them at ohiokings.com. That's their website. The 25th. That is the next game against the Cleveland Blazers. So again, it could be another family outing for you. Maybe you got some people in town. You want to entertain them rather than sitting around watching TV. You want to actually entertain people. And you can go out and check out a Kings game. And it is family friendly. And you can watch some b-ball and support the home team. Yes, I had a great time. And you will as well. Have a great time. That's your Ohio Kings. That's the 25th. And you can get ticket information at their website, ohiokings.com. And check them out. Pat Rice, good morning. Pamela Rice, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Tracy Rice, hi, good morning, everyone. Brian's in the house. He writes, good morning. Ray Rice, Grand Risings all. Black Russia's back. He writes, good morning, #alt-middle. Mike Davis is in the house. He writes, rise and shine, young stars. Cam's in the house. He writes, top of the morning, Nathan in the chop shop. Cassandra is in the house. She writes, hey, choppers. And Brenda writes, happy Thursday. Well, just yesterday, man, we had a very interesting conversation with Kelly Prather. And my goal is to talk to all of the candidates in that particular race. That means Connie Pillage, who I think when we talk to Connie Pillage, we'll have a better understanding of how this whole thing is going to lay out. Very interesting. Alicia Reese is running as well. And as always, there were some very strong opinions in yesterday's show. You can go back and check out the notes and the comments if you like at nathanivy.com and check it out for yourself. Of course, today's show is brought to you by Sin Digital Media. a new urban voice in the city of Cincinnati, creating podcasts for the people. The Is It Just Me podcast. Matter of fact, later on today, the Truth to Power podcast with the NAACP, Cutting Through the BS podcast, the Nathan Ivey Show, and more. Hot Mic, and more. The B Word. I think I'm looking to recast the B Word podcast. I like the title of that podcast and some of the imagery, but I'm looking to recast it. I'll put the word out. I'll put it out to you first. Beowulf writes, good morning, Choppers. Imagine being the white man who strangled that coyote to death for biting his son and thinking he can pull off with a real big dog like the alt-middle wolves. We rarely attack humans. Why? Because we don't like y'all anyway. Alt-middle is for the children. You are immersed, he writes. Yeah, there was a white male, a viral video. I didn't even watch the video, but I'm aware of it. And apparently he strangled a coyote with his bare hands because he felt like the animal was threatening his son. And as a father, I can see that. That's why I say again, the most dangerous place for a man to be in. When a man is out with his son and his family, that's a very dangerous situation because there's some men that pop off on you. And they feel like their family is being threatened. Coyote, wolf. I told you. And if you can strangle a coyote, Beowulf, then you can strangle a wolf. You know, wolves have no natural predator except for man. Just remember that. All you alt-middle wolves, remember that. or not. Miss Tiffany writes morning. CG Dub writes good morning, Choppers. All caps. Good morning, Choppers. She's back from vacay. So jelly. Have a great time. Beowulf writes, imagine being Botham John's family, hugging all on cops, only to find you can't sue them. Your loser lawyers, the inarticulate Ben Crump and grossly ineffective Lee Merritt, claimed the lawsuit was about seeking justice. So now they suing the apartment complex. But if I call them professional Negroes, I'd be wrong. Yeah, Fame's rhetoric always proves to be proper. Just effing accept it already, haters. Well, that's just not true. And, you know, I don't even know what a professional Negro is other than you. You're the only professional Negro that I know, Fame. And you're right. There has been some updates in the Botham John case that we'll discuss this morning. You're right. There have been updates. Crystal writes, good morning. Jericho writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. And then 2 heart emojis. That's right. It's black love. That's what it is, which is alive and well. Alive and well. Mason Mahler writes, morning, ain't the Choppers. There is never a wrong time to do right. I agree with you. That's what I say about people waking up, being woke. There's never a wrong time to wake up. I don't care if you've been woke for 30 seconds or 30 years. It makes no difference. Cam writes, peace, Beowulf. Will the big dog now on, is Burrow the answer, the Burrow steak, is Burrow the answer for the Bengals? Just yesterday, Burrow was spotted at Jeff Ruby's having the Burrow steak. Thoughts? I don't know who it was, but somebody made an excellent point, which I agree with, is I think Joe Burrow would be more valuable as a trade piece. You can get more out of it. But the Brown family is going to fall in love with the white guy. Let's call it what it is. My problem with Joe Burrow is I think he's a Trumpster. I think Joe Burrow is a Trumpster. And if he's a Trumpster, I don't want him. And the reason why I think Joe Burrow is a Trumpster is because there was an image. You know, they won a national championship and they went to the White House. Right? And there was an image that was put out of Donald Trump. Like, you know, how the president will recognize the national champions and blah, blah, blah. Well, they're supposed to talk about the team and football. He turned it into, you know, some rant about the impeachment process. And an image was put out. And in the image, you can see some of the players who are standing behind Trump. And I was reading their faces. And many of them, it was a couple brothers. Just reading their faces in that image, you can tell there was a certain uncomfortableness there. I looked at Joe Burrow's face and he was just like, this is love. I saw it in his face like, yeah, you tell him, Trump. I was like, oh, okay. We got us a Trumpster here. Yeah. Let me find it again. I never talked about it. I'm not sure. I was about to post it on Facebook, but then something happened and took my attention away. But yeah, we just believe in the savior mentality. Like one person is going to save you. It doesn't happen that way. I don't think so. Mason Muller writes, millennials make me have hope for the future. They have more access to more information than ever before. Rumble, young man, rumble. Is that right? Is that right? Well, millennials have the same access to information that we have right now, but people who are non-millennials, like the hip-hop generation, but it's all about using it. That's what it's all about. It's all about using it. That's what I would say. Jeff Ruby has always used local jocks for free advertising in his high-priced restaurants. I enjoy the precinct, though, but that said, Burrow doesn't have the mental faculties to play in the NFL. Fool's gold. You'll see. Okay. If you want to see something, look at Elijah Cummings' first speech to Congress as a freshman congressman. Okay. Cam writes to Mason Mahler, only if millennials can stop listening to Future and create and embrace their own LOL. Well, you know what Obama said about millennials is that, and I guess I'm paraphrasing here, I think he said basically need to stop talking ish and be the change that they want to see. Isn't that what Obama said when he called out millennials and the whole cancel culture and all that kind of stuff? Black Russia writes, I can only think about PG Silbach conversation undermining the health of Pamela Smitherman. Hashtag sad. Oh, you had to bring that up, huh? Well, since you brought it up, I still feel the same way. Like, how does somebody saying something about you, and here you are 1,000 miles away or 100 miles away? I think that's a bad example. I'm surprised you even brought that up. Black Russia. Oh, you still running with that Gang of Five thing? Oh, that's why. Okay. And, I don't know. It makes me wonder. I'll tell you, a sad thing is, using bad situations for politics. To me, that's sad. I can't ever see myself going out like that. But I'm different. We're all different. Mason Muller writes, get the Oscar Robertson steak, Beowulf at the precinct. The Oscar Robertson steak. Okay. Oh, man. I hate to see that. I don't want to see that video. Nah. Iris Rowley's in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. Hey, good to see you. Beowulf writes, millennials need to stop drinking that cough syrup and Sprite concoction. Kev on the cell writes, morning, Trump didn't win, Hillary lost. Nate, turn the phones on. Been trying to call. Is that right? Just that. And turn the phone on. Sorry about that. Oh, snap. You did. Oh, snap. Sorry about that. All right, I got you now. I got you. There we go. Let's see who's been calling me. I've been missing a few calls. Is that you, Kev on the cell? Oh, I'm connected, man. Sorry about that, brother. Casey's in the house. She writes, good morning, hashtag team and I, sending everyone positive, powerful vibrations. Absolutely. That's good to see. Now, Casey I think I saw Casey. She's been to the Ohio Kings game, I think I was there. I don't know what game it was. It was maybe like 3 or 4 games ago. I just kind of popped my head in, met a listener down there or met some listeners down there to give them tickets. And then I was out. I did not intend to stay that day. I had some other things going on. I had a birthday party to attend to that day. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a real good time. Good to see you, Casey. Are you still moving? Didn't you say something about moving or something like that? Damn. We will miss you. Brother Muzone writes, coming through with 12G shortly. Don't be alarmed, just subliminal or of a stimulus or mental, meaning chat guns, ready to shoot the shit out my real ones. Good morning, kings and queens of the sun. What? Good to see you. I'm going to hit dropping flows. All right. Sister V's in the house. Hotep, wonderful people. And again, congratulations to you, Sister V, for your recognition during the MLK celebration and ceremony. Well deserved. Well deserved. Crystal writes, hey, Nate, I tagged you on Facebook with the friends page. I shared a great video called My Vote Don't Count. Okay, I'll check it out. I will check it out. Mason Mahler writes, great post, Crystal. Everyone in the chop shop should watch it. Powerful message in that video. Okay, we got to hear. Well, that means let's go there right now. We got time. We have time. Good morning to you. Hope you have a fabulous day. I'm going to the friends page right now. Hey, shout out to everybody. Thank you for the likes and shares this morning. Appreciate you. Let me find this. You say Crystal posted it? Okay, let me get this real quick. Hope you're doing well, Crystal. What is this, Lakeisha? What? Transgender woman CC Telfer wins NCAA track championship. This is the weakest thing. You talking about some weak ass man shit. This is some weak ass man stuff. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate you. Glenn. San Francisco District Attorney ends the use of money as bail. Thank you, Brenda. Hey, Jesse, good morning to you. All right, I'm searching for it right now. Oh, okay, I found it. She writes, watch this message, and she tagged me. Okay, well, I don't know what I'm getting into, but I'll trust you. Let's go. You say it's a great message? I'm down with a great message early in the morning. Let's see what we got here. I'm not even sure what this is.
More than 270, more than enough to become the 44th President of the United States. He will be the first African-American President of the United States.
I've been broke all my life, but I kept hope all them nights. You see business in my city? Yeah, they closed all them twice. I was just riding down Salem, all them damn potholes, I can't drive. I know y'all can fix it faster, but I know y'all won't try. Don't nobody care about us, and that's why I don't vote. Voted for Obama back in 2012, I remember that's when I had hope. He was saying, yes, we can, and everybody got less food stamps. And when I turned 21, I was still broke, I'd never vote again. I don't think I ever had a president make my life better. Did it all on my own, ain't no politician ever do a nice gesture. I don't even know the mayor's name, I ain't never seen her one time ever. Tell me how she gonna help the city. What I'm supposed to do, write letters? What I'm supposed to do, blame Trump? He ain't never really gave up. Ain't nobody raised minimum wage. None of these jobs pay enough. I think they just want to keep us broke, cause they ain't putting nothing in place for us. This how all my people feel, but we gotta learn. We complained enough, let me change it up. Everything I just said, everybody I know think the same way. See, they don't want to see us vote, and we never do, so we see the same thing. But all our votes really do count, and they'll never really let it show. So now I'm finna break it down, cause if I don't, you would probably never know. First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us, it was 3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor, or the governor, and the president. Now none of them 3 people make no laws, they just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch, yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do, okay y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't ever even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. Cause they the ones make child support laws, they the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The State House make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, See, they don't want to tell you this. They want you to focus on the president. Now, the third branch is the judicial. That's judges. They the reason why John Crawford and Trayvon ain't had justice. So when Meek Mill got locked up just for popping willies, we blame the judge and not the city when they let her get voted in, because they ain't know who to vote against. Imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back, grocery store food better, custody of your kids back, homeless people get new shelters. If we gon' fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters, me and you. Somebody told us that the government wanna keep us broke, but the only reason why those people in the government is cause we ain't vote. And I ain't talking about the president, I'm talking about the ones we ain't know. See, they was gonna try to keep it low, but it's gonna hurt them when they see the polls.
Every time you stay home, someone is making a decision about you, making decisions about the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food your kids eat, and how much money you bring home every 2 weeks. So every time you sit out an election, every time you don't show up because you think it doesn't matter, someone else is happy that you didn't show up, so they can make that decision for you. Vote.
Oh, you know I love this. Now, Crystal, thank you so much. You know I love that. You done made my day. Little Buddha will see this today. Matter of fact, I'm going to text this to her because she loves music. Excellent message. What's his brother's name? Yellow Pain. I'm going to go ahead and like his page. Got over 3 million views on this. Super dope. Now, that's hip-hop right there. That's a good usage hip-hop right there. It's a good use of a beat. And the man made 100% sense. Everybody, that's why I say the things I do. I challenge conventional wisdom even inside the black community. Some people don't like that. And I'm still black. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I have to check black people all the time. Oh, Obama didn't do nothing for us. And you didn't even vote in the damn midterm election. You set him up for failure. You set the man up for failure, or you set him up to be less effective. Let's put it that way. Everybody came out in the general election, fell asleep in the midterm. The Tea Party came alive. And I was on commercial radio in this city saying this thing. Let's start our own Tea Party. You don't got to, if they can get out there and put on some 1776 kind of clothing, we don't want to do that shit, but we can do something similar. You know what I'm saying? But black folks thought that Obama was the magical Negro who was going to get in there, you know, with that Messiah complex, you know, he going to get in there and just tough talk his way into it. No, Donald Trump would be not, without the majority in the Senate and having Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump would have no victories. That's super dope. I like that. Thank you for telling me that. I'm glad I saw that this morning. It's an excellent post. It's a good usage of Facebook right there. It's a great message. And dope beats. Yeah, superlative flows. Superlative flows. I like that. Kev on the cell writes, Cummings was probably upset by Trump's words, and being ill didn't have his normal swag to bust him in the chops with the rhetoric. That would have been truly frustrating for an eloquent brother like Cummings. Man, if Trump's talking ish about you, you got to take that as a badge of honor. That's how you got to take it. Beowulf writes, coyotes are much smaller than wolves. Think Great Danes versus miniature Schnauzers. I don't think that the difference in size is that big, but putting all that to the side, like I told you, wolves have no natural predators except for man. Remember that. Cam writes, I am a professional black that embraces Spanish. Hashtag professional Negro. Brother Mazone writes, Nate, I caught a glimpse of you at the 2016 RNC on this doc called American Chaos. I got a screenshot of the clip with you in it, and I posted in the friends page. Check it out. Did you? I didn't see that. Really? That's cool. And I'm planning on going back this year. My plan is to attend both of the national conventions. Now, the Republican National Convention is like walking into like the brain of like a crazy person. There was this movie like that early in her career that Jennifer Lopez did, and I can't recall the title of it, but it was crazy, sort of just, it's hard to even explain it, but essentially she had to go into the mind of some psychotic serial killer, and when she got into his mind, it was like she was in this alternate crazy dimension, and that's what going to the RNC was like. Crazy, man. Like I said again, I was going to the RNC during the day, and at night, I was crashing at my mother-in-law's or my in-laws' house. They had a spare bedroom downstairs, and I was falling asleep every night watching Hidden Colors 5. So I'm watching Hidden Colors and then going into the belly of the beast every single day, and it is the belly of the beast. It is the belly of the beast. You don't have a strong mental. I had a great time. Shout out to Roland Martin. That's cool. That's cool, man. I did not know that. Let's go to the phones. We got John on the line. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world. And yes, those choppers. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Welcome. Don't insult us.
You know, that was a nice. I just tuned in as I'm driving south on 95, headed to Florida. Sunny sky, blue sky. You know, before I get to that song you just played, you think the wifey will let you have a guy's week off?
Sure.
Florida or South America?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to plan something. Planning with a group of guys that's going to South America, Colombia. And we won't get into too many of the details. We don't want the choppers to get any wild ideas. But just was curious if the wifey will let you leave out every now and then, take a break.
2020, my budget's going to be tight because, like I just said, I'm trying to travel to some of these political events. Are you talking about 2020 or beyond, or you want to talk about it offline?
2020, yes. That
2020.
or
2020 is going to be rough for me.
Jump on a plane and come to Miami so we can, have a good time.
Okay. Again, it's going to be rough for me, man, but we'll see. Anything can happen.
Oh. You know, that song you just played, that was, wow, that was incredible.
Wasn't that nice? That was dope.
He hit all angles everywhere.
Yeah.
He was interested. And before you hang up, if you have the time, if you can play that one more time so I can see if I can look that up. I got to save that on myself. That was a slamming song, what he put together. He covered the whole political spectrum of his country, and the sister that ended, yes, you have to vote. I agree with her perception, but once again, John.
Well, that's what the whole song is about, John. The whole song is about voting and what happened during the Obama administration. Like I said, people came out for the general election and fell asleep during the midterm, and the Republicans, that gave them the door open, and that allowed them to bottle up a lot of what Obama wanted to do legislatively. We never got the full Obama effect. We only got like 30% of it.
Well, yes, and once again, we all know he didn't control the House and the Senate. We don't know how great Barack Obama would have been, but I have a problem with him because he didn't speak out about what the Republicans was doing. He was a quiet little soldier most of the time.
No.
And he was a quiet little soldier when it came to our issues.
Well,
Black issues. That's where I have a problem with.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're making that point in terms of Obama coming out saying, I got a black agenda, if that's where you're coming from, you're right. But he wasn't a quiet little soldier. He told us he didn't shy away from what the Republicans were doing. He was very, very vocal about it. I remember watching the shows and seeing the interviews. But it doesn't mean anything if people don't get out here and vote.
Well, every now and then his press conferences where, whenever blacks would stick it to him, I'm here for all the people. I get, excuse me? Every president in this damn country's history took care of their own. Now we get a black president in there. You would think he would throw us a bone every now and then, but we got to hear him in the press conference. I'm here for all the people.
But where is that ever? But I'm sorry, John. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
And we saw the reaction. Once again, we don't know if he would have done more for the African American community if he had control of the House and the Senate. But based on what I saw with his pattern of 8 years in there, he was quiet with certain things. Okay. Some people can say, he threw us here, a bone here and there, and that's not good enough. And based on what happened with him in 8 years in office, and we saw the outcome with Hillary, she took that election too lightly. She thought she was a shoo-in. The Trumpster pulled the fast one. Yeah, it was dirty politics, hacking, throwing away of votes. And that's going to happen again, too. people think that's not going to happen with the throwing away of votes and hacking. It will happen again. But now, once again, I don't run around telling people to vote or not vote. That's your individual choice.
The only point I was making is that you said you liked that rap. It was a video, but you just heard the audio of it. Well, the whole point of it is to educate people to get out there and motivate people to get out there and vote. That's why he breaks down the legislative and the judicial and the executive branch in his rap. Matter of fact, one of the scenes is him in the classroom at a chalkboard. And so as he's rapping about it, he's like in a classroom scenario. So it's clear that this is supposed to be educational. But yet, I don't know how you I don't understand how you can like the rap, but then you still don't vote. I don't get that. But it is what it is. John?
Well, you said it is a video of that, too.
Yeah, it's a video. That's what it is. It's a rap video.
Okay. Well, I'm driving, but if you get a chance, if you think of it later on today, can you shoot me the link to that so I can save it? I like to look at that, and possibly, the way it sounds, I'm going to post that on my website so all the world can hear what this brother, because it covered the spectrum of the political system, as you stated, back when Barack Obama was in office, but he covered a lot more if you listen to it very, very carefully, which I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good, because too often, and you're a fan of these rappers out here, you don't find too many rappers, and maybe you can tell me if not, you don't find too many rappers that will touch the political spectrum, be it who's in president, who's not in president, or what's going on in their local communities or state. You don't find that often. And this is, and you said how many hits he got on that site?
Well, so far from what I read, it looks like he's got like 3.3 million plays. So people are watching it.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, pretty big. Yeah, that's good.
But to get back to, we have plenty of time between now and November. Let's see who the Democrat candidate is. And I don't know if you caught that media report. I think it was a news. Forgot that. I can't remember the news organization that supports Hillary. That supports Elizabeth Warren and the what's the other woman that sits on the other?
Yeah, you talking about the New York Times? Yeah. People criticize the New York Times because instead of just taking a strong opinion and getting behind one candidate, they endorsed two candidates, Warren and Klobuchar. And I thought, Klobuchar, of all the people? Right. Who did she pay off to get that endorsement?
Well, you know me. I'm going to be consistent. I'm in support of Elizabeth Warren. I think she's the best candidate. Forget Biden, forget Bernie. Klobuchar, I'm hearing negative stuff about her. From what I'm hearing with some people that was in her organization says she's a screamer, she's a yeller. Who needs somebody in there? But even if Elizabeth Warren gets the nod and she decides to pick her, I don't think she's going to pick her. A vice president holds no power. They're just a mouthpiece to do some of the bidding of what the president wants anyway. So, but I'm hearing negative stuff about her, and I don't know if Elizabeth Warren gets the nod that she will pick her. I don't know. It's plenty of time. Let's wait and see. But as you talked about the passion, what Barack Obama did back then, and how he was able to stir the masses, let's see. Hold on 1 second. Let me put this phone down. The cops are right there in front of me.
The cops? He didn't talk this man into a ticket. You almost got a ticket, huh?
The troopers were in the middle column, so I had to put the phone down. They have strict laws here in Baltimore, so you got to be careful. But,
and you right back at it.
I don't know if that Democrat, whoever that candidate is, can get the same passion and feel and push with these kids to get them to come out and vote. And that's the other block nobody talks about, these kids on the campuses and everything. Barack Obama, as me and you talked about that, his database of things that he did to stir up these kids, I don't know if this next Democrat candidate can do the same thing or not. Let's just wait and see how this all plays out.
All right. Well, John, have a good day, man.
Well, you have a good day, too, as I travel highways and byways headed south to sunny Florida. Get away. Close the chapter on New Jersey. Let's see how it all plays out.
So you're actually driving away from New Jersey for the last time right now?
I'm not even looking back. I'm out of Jersey. I'm
Wow.
on 95 headed into Baltimore, and then I'm going to do the car train.
Right.
They call it auto train.
Yeah, you told me.
And get on right outside Washington and load in Amtrak, load in Virginia, and we have to line up at 1. I got plenty of time. Line up 1. The train leaves at 4, and we pull into Orlando at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then slow drive down. So I'll be fine.
All right. Well, that means that tomorrow you'll be in Orlando when we talk. Is that correct?
Okay.
All right. Take it easy.
All right.
That's John. He didn't hear a damn thing I just said. So John, as we speak, is making the move. No longer John from Princeton, New Jersey. Now he'll be John from Orlando, Florida. I don't know, man. I like it. I like the idea that John is out here making moves. You know what I'm saying? He packed up, just moving across the country. I mean, a lot of people won't have the courage to do that. But I guess John has that kind of lifestyle. Like, a lot of people want to stay close to their family. And I get it. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying a lot of people don't have it like that, where they can just pick up and go to the other side of the country. Like, if you could pick up and go anywhere, you ever thought about doing that? Just leaving wherever you are now and driving somewhere else and living a whole different lifestyle. There's something about that that appeals to me. It's something about that that appeals to me. I can see myself doing that. You know what I'm saying? I got more work to do here in the city, but I can see myself doing that. Just pick up. I'm out of here. I'm going, pick someplace, nice that you always wanted to live in and just go there. He said, I'm not even looking back. Damn. What's that feel like? Maybe you've already done it. Maybe you did that and came to Cincinnati. It might not be a big deal to you. All right, I'm trying to see what's up with city council. And I'm still trying to figure out why Jeff Pastor voted against that renters, idea. I mean, he was the only person who was there that voted against it. I'm wondering why. Did he see something that we can't see? It could be legitimate. Was it politics? I don't know. CG Dub writes, a lot of congratulations to Sister V. Absolutely. Oh, for sure. You already know. We definitely shout you out. Black Russia writes, Cam, LOL, she took that same week-ish to another podcast. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What same week-ish? Obama's gone, y'all, and he ain't coming back. Instead of reminiscing, vote. Well, I wouldn't look at it as reminiscing. I think that it's more of an educational thing. You know what I'm saying? People need to know what happened. Like, people, like the conventional smart, dumb wisdom is that Obama just didn't care. He did more for the gays than he did for blacks. That's a traditional smart, dumb cat thinking that I hear from people all the time about Obama. But that's not the facts. The facts is that people didn't come out in the midterms. And if they had, then you probably could have got more legislation and more out of it. The Obama administration. I mean, that's a civics lesson. Let's see here. What is this? How's the saying go? If you don't understand the past, you're doomed to repeat it. See. Iris writes, love this video and message. Absolutely. Black Russia writes, Prather was trash per usual. I wouldn't say that. Terrence Grasson writes something in the State House. Emojis. I don't understand. Casey writes, yes, I saw you and a family Saturday at the Kings game, and I'm not moving. My sister Pam is. Oh, that's right. Pam is. Oh, no. That's right. Pam is moving. Damn. That is no bueno, but I wish her the best. Damn. Iris writes, them two letters, us. Cassandra writes, it actually goes hard, though. It was fire. Brother Mazone writes, that was dope. Sister V writes, that piece was dope, and it's being heavily circulated. It's like the hip-hop version, Confunction Junction. Can't remember the real name of the show. Been a while. Yeah, I thought it was a good video. Very well articulated. And it's nicely produced. People will like it. I think it'll get over 10 million plays. Brother Mazone writes, he broke it down for the grown folks. He still says Obama never did ish for the black folks. What was great is he talked about why he was cynical about being not voting. You know, he broke down why the origin of his cynicism, which I thought probably will resonate with a lot of people. It's a lot of people that feel that way. Pat writes, I loved it. Mike Davis writes, BS. What do we get in exchange for our votes? Quid pro quo. Let's see. Brother Mazone writes, who? Ray writes, nice, a coherent message. Let me see here. Somebody said something about Tuck Radio, but I don't know what they're saying. Tuck Radio here on Spreaker at Black Russia. That'd be great. I like Tuck Radio. Mason Mahler writes, I showed the video to my son and sent the video to my daughter. Is a voting age. Excellent post. Excellent post, huh? Okay. I agree. I absolutely agree. Let me see here. Are you saying Kelly Prather was on Tuck Radio? Okay. Great. Well, like I said, I mean, you should make all the rounds. People try to criticize her for going to a tea party. I remember that happened. She was running for city council and she went to some people called it a tea party, like whatever. And what I would say is tea partiers vote too. Okay. Let them tell you no. It's not hard to vote, especially in Cincinnati. Early voting, in person voting, absent ballot voting. I'm just saying. Black Russia writes, Mitch McConnell is the best politician in the last 30 years. He always wins like Ghost. Let me see. Now we get to the John part. Tanika's in the house. Good to see you. Brother Mazone writes, John is on his mule shit. LOL. Is John here in South Florida yet? No, he's on his way. He'll be there later today. Beowulf writes, Zion, 22 points last night. I told y'all on Rustin rants, he would score more than 12.5 points. I help people make money. We got you. I'm still not sold on Zion. We'll see. He is a hell of an athlete, though. You know, because what he had, he's a big man with a lot of fast twitch muscles, if you know what I'm talking about. Jackie writes, Trump is karma for Congress for disrespecting Obama. Jesse writes, he was talking about you, John. Iris writes, will that help John vote? I hope so. If it'll help him vote in now Florida. See, that's why I knew that John was all BS. Because John was talking about, oh yeah, I'm registered to vote in New Jersey. He's going to have to re-register in Florida, isn't he? The irony of John being in Florida is just so thick because he's always talking about them stealing your votes and the hanging chads. And where did we get that phrase from? Hanging chads, going back to the 2000 election. And now he's down in Florida. Oh, man. Be careful down there, John. Don't get yourself in trouble. The Mason Mahler writes, the song was about people like John. Yeah, kind of. People who are, yeah, you're right. It is. Mike Davis writes, family, we vote. Every year we register more folk to vote. What are you demanding for our vote? 90% of us vote straight Dem, and they know they ain't gonna do nothing for us to get that 90%. Is that true, Mike Davis? Is it true that 90% of black people vote straight Dem? It'll be interesting to see how that changes in the next 10 years because I think it will. John is lost because I've given up on him. No, Black Russia writes, John is a lost cause. I've given up on him. Okay. Somebody writes, John drives me crazy. That's Pat. Jackie writes, John is full of BS. Mike Davis writes, next step in the process, buy off the politicians, a.k.a. lobby. I agree with you. Pat writes, hang up on him, Nate. Cam writes, is Drop MIA during the impeachment hearings? Not sure. Why Dems will regret what they did to Sheriff Neal. Yeah, so break it down for me. What did he say? He said they're going to regret it because I'm trying to figure out. I read the article, but what are the reasons? What are the reasons? So, quote, identity politics is the worst and it's destroying the Democratic Party. It's divisive and by necessarily vote losing because it requires accusations. That's some Wall Street Journal columnist named Kimberly Strassel. Hell, who is that? So are they trying to say that Sheriff Neal might win? Because if he wins, yeah, that's a backfire for sure. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. Brother Mazon writes, did y'all see that they are about to renovate up and around Kenwood Mall, adding luxury apartments, restaurants, and hotels, just like the Liberty Mall up in Liberty Township? Little do they know that the Liberty Mall was a failed renovation project that is now in bankruptcy proceedings because no one is occupying those apartments and the mall is losing money due to lack of shoppers' traffic. Black Ruster writes, the current rep of the Ohio District 33rd. Oh, okay. I'm not reading that. He says he's got to go. Oh, is there any evidence of that? Is the current rep good for black people in the 33rd district? I don't know. I guess people will have different opinions about that. Mike Davis writes, BR, politicians get into politics to get rich. Some of them do, I'm sure. Not all of them, I don't think. I don't think every person. I think some people feel like, you know what, I want to be the change that I keep talking about. So they decide to do it themselves. I think some people do it because they want to have influence and power. And of course, you got influence and power that can lead to making money. Tracy writes, Schoolhouse Rock. That's the name of that show, right? There will always be poor in capitalism. The question, what policies do a country have to mitigate that? A country is judged by how they treat their poor. All that their too lazy talking points have been disproved. Is that right? All the federal senators are at least millionaires. How is that? I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have to have money to be in politics, to make it to senator, to president. I mean, you know, I think the Obamas were different. The Obamas were different in the sense that Obama and Michelle Obama, I think it was like within 8 years of becoming president, they paid off their student loans. And to me, that's always something that stuck out to me because that tells me that you understand the plight of college educated working class people. And so maybe you're going to bring that to the office. And I think he did. I think people was caught up with Obama in the wrong way. I really do. Some people was too caught up. Okay, yeah. So Kelly Prather sat down with Wind Down Wednesday and Tuck Radio. Okay. That is great. That is great. Great for her. Wish her the best. Although we should have some haters in here hating on this sister. Pat writes, safe travels. John, when you get to Florida, register to vote. Y'all not gonna let that go, huh? I ain't mad at you. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guy.
Hey, what's up with you, guy? So we doing now?
Is this the Nathan Ivey show?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, because I was making sure, it's based out of Cincinnati and not Oakland. Because you seem to be throwing a lot of shots in the Bay Area this morning. I don't understand why.
There it is. I knew there was an explanation coming.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. You seem to be gunning for me. And the alt middle wolves talking about you can do that to a wolf too. No, you can't.
Oh, yes, you can.
No, you can't. You will not choke a wolf to death.
I'm just saying.
Too big for that.
I'm just saying that the wolf has no natural predator except for man. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm right.
Right, because everybody knows. Because everybody knows we'll turn the tables on you. You'll think you hunting us down, and then we'll flip it on you.
You're right.
But, environmental science aside, I want to talk about Lee Merritt. Well, first of all, that was a nice little jingle by the guy. It was all right. Somebody on Twitter just posted the other day. It was funny because maybe they posted this video, and I just overlooked it. I just read the caption. They was like, yeah, some of y'all didn't watch, some of y'all don't remember the lyrics to Bill on Capitol Hill, and it shows. But Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump, they are chasing the bag. These people are in it for themselves. Now, how do you sue an apartment complex?
Well,
how are they going to be liable for her for the one time somebody went to the wrong place and somebody was injured, killed?
Well, I'll leave it up to his lawyers to make that argument. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, all the other tricks you tried didn't work. Trying to show you wasn't angry black people and you were forgiving and loving and hugging on to the cop didn't work. And she ain't really got no money to sue her for. Maybe you could sue her and take all the money off her commissary, that she might get. But, even after that, she's going to come out of jail and probably get a $5 million book deal right off the rip.
She might. Hopefully she don't, but she might. There'll be some people there to help her soften her blow, though. People who are like pro law enforcement and really don't care about black lives. They don't care about non-white lives. But let me back it up here. So let's remember what happened here, because there is a question mark as it relates to the apartment complex. Now that I think about it, and so I'm wondering if that's one of the reasons that they're going after him. So, and that is that Botham Jean's door didn't shut all the way. He thought the door was shut, and would have locked, but it didn't. So maybe that's some kind of faulty mechanism or something that happened. And now, if that's the case, then you would go after the apartment complex, because if his door had locked the way it was supposed to, she never would have been able to push herself right into there, and nothing else would have happened. Like when you get in an apartment, you should have a reasonable expectation that when you shut the door is going to operate the way a door is supposed to, is going to close. And if it does not, and something bad happens, then you go after the people that made the apartment.
Right. I guess, I'm not an attorney, but this seems to be a very high functioning, almost luxury apartment complex. He was an accountant. She's a cop. These are people making well over $40,000 a year. So, you got to, spend a good dime to live there, I'd imagine.
Right. And you expect for your doors to work where it's supposed to work. Like when you shut the door,
right?
And if the door is locked and when you push it, you expect for it to shut. And if it doesn't, then maybe there's something in the way it was manufactured.
Is there a record of him calling maintenance to request that his door be fixed? And were they diligent in trying to get it fixed? Did he just make it that morning, or did he make it 2 weeks ago? If he made a request that his door be fixed.
But we can't agree.
Timing is everything.
But we can't agree that if there's some kind of faulty mechanism or broken whatever, then that would open the door to go after the people that own the apartment complex.
I don't know. I think that's kind of a reach in and of itself.
You think it's how is that a reach? The door did not shut.
Apartment complex.
Yeah, but they made
the
apartment complex.
Amber Geiger. This is all Amber Geiger.
No, this is the law.
That's all her defense is going to say. This is all her. We had nothing to do with her going into the wrong apartment. She said she would, had worked too long. They're going to deflect it back to the cops.
Yeah, but then the attorneys for Botham Jean will say, if the mechanism on the door didn't work right, or they'll say if it worked properly, she never would have been able to push into the door. That's how she opened the door. He thought the door was locked. Right. She thought the door was locked, but when she hit the door just opened up and she went inside. Why did that happen?
Your Honor, we had nothing to do with her being in such a delusional state that she's on the wrong floor going into an apartment, not realizing she's not in the right place.
I mean,
people leave their doors open all the time anyway.
Well, think about this.
Unlocked.
No, they don't. And then if they do, but that's not the scenario in this case. He didn't leave his door unlocked.
I've done that before.
You might have, but that's irrelevant. So let me take Amber Geiger out of it.
And tried to kill me.
Let's take Amber Geiger out of it. So Botham Jean's in his house smoking weed and eating ice cream. He thinks his door is locked. Let's just say it was a serial killer who was just trying doors. He's just trying doors to see if one's open and pushes his way into Botham Jean's apartment and kills him. I would say that the apartment complex would still be liable if the door was open and he thought it was locked due to some faulty mechanism.
I guess. I just think it's a reach. You can explain it how you want to and try, but I just think it's a reach. I just think it's a reach. Them people played themselves. They should have listened to the mom. Again, the media wasn't showing the mom's anger. Like, F this. We hugging these people, but she was irate. All they wanted to show was the hugs and forgiveness. Those incompetent ass lawyers, those incompetent advocates, they played themselves. Further showing their incompetence, especially Ben Crump. He's the national Bobby Hilton. Everything he touches is a loser. Everything he touches, he totally mucks it up.
I'm looking at it now. And so that is what they're arguing.
Let this be a lesson.
The other thing that they're arguing.
Lesson to black people. What are they arguing? I'm sorry. What are they arguing?
So that is what the attorneys are arguing. Lee Merritt, attorney for the family of 26-year-old Botham Jean, said that the Southside Flats apartment building had a confusing layout and a faulty mechanism on Jean's door, and it contributed to his death. And
so the apartment, yeah.
Here's another one. Here's another quote from the article. This is from Lee Merritt. He's saying approximately 70% of the tenants on the third floor and fourth floors of the Southside Flats said that they have also gone to the incorrect floor in the past. So apparently, I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know how you get off on the wrong floor over and over again, but.
Did the apartment building pull the trigger?
That's not the point. Did the apartment building...
That's going to be the argument.
No, that won't be the argument. No, that won't be the argument. Okay. The argument will be, was there some kind of faulty mechanism? Was the door lock jammed? Was some other issue that prevented it from working the way that they wanted it to work? That's what the family is arguing. Maybe they got a point there.
If they win that, I will retract what I just said. But for right now, everything he touches is a loser.
Okay, so let me put it this way. Let me try it one last time. So think about it this way, Fame. What if Amber Geiger goes to the wrong door? She's in front of Botham Jean's door. She uses her key card to try to use it, but since it's the wrong door, it wouldn't work. She pushes the door open and tries to open it, but because it's locked, the door doesn't open. What do you think would have happened?
I'm not into the supposition.
No, you're very good at supposition. What do you think would have happened?
No, I'm not into this supposition. I'm prejudiced. My mind is made up already.
Your mind may be made up, but I'm just asking you, what do you think would have happened in that scenario? Amber Geiger gets to the door. The door doesn't open. She tries her key card. It doesn't open. What do you think would have happened?
She might start blasting. Like, who's in my crib?
Nah. I don't think she would have blasted
if she had it in her mind that she was on the right floor, she blows off the lock.
Or I think that if the door would have been locked, here's what I think would have happened. If the door would have been locked, she tries her key. The key doesn't work. She would have looked at the key like, what the hell? Tried it again. And she would have realized she was at the wrong door. That's what I think would have happened.
That's what a sane person would have done. Who's to say this heifer is sane?
I mean, she was found sane enough to stand trial.
They didn't test her for
I don't know what they tested her for.
Mental deficiency.
Well, then that means that
because then the Dallas police would have been liable because you had a crazy person on the police force.
All I'm saying is she was found sane enough to stand trial. Nobody brought it up in the trial, so it must not have been an issue. So that's why I say having a faulty mechanism. They didn't pull the trigger. But if you manufacture a door that doesn't operate properly, and when the people inside think it is locked, it's not. That's a problem, fam. That's a problem. That's a liability issue to me right there.
I see a reach. I mean, you're 6'4", so you're used to being able to get the things that other people can't through reaching. You know, you pull things off of tall shelves for people at Walmart. I see that, but this is a reach with what they're doing because they know they mucked it up because they whack. Okay, that's just that. Now,
well, we can agree to disagree on that one.
Exactly. I tried to tell you that 5 minutes ago. I didn't want to participate in something.
I was trying to appeal to the logical part of you, which you are suppressing in this moment because you stuck on what you want to believe. But go right ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Now I had a chance to meet up with a politician that's involved in the primary tomorrow on the 17th of March. I'm going to give you a full-scale report on the morning of the 17th.
Why are you waiting so long?
Because I kind of got to do a couple other things, and I want to make it very coherent, about this person.
So who's the politician?
I don't want to influence. Well, you got to read the comments from yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we had a nice little half-hour talk. I'm out there doing my civic duties.
That's great.
Because I want to be diligent in this decision because it's a very important decision. And lastly, I really would like for you to play that video from Twitter of the woman beating her mom for being incontinent and peeing on herself.
Now, why would you want me to do that?
Because it goes to show elderly abuse. Right. And it goes to show what I've been telling you since the end of 2019. I'm on Team Tommy Sotomayor this year.
I can tell.
With the BS of these so-called queens. They've been ruining the community. Her son was too scared to even step in and stop it. Instead, he's recording it. Because he's too scared to step in because he's too scared of his mother. Punking these women punking their sons.
Now you're making the same mistake that white people do, and that you'll criticize white people for doing. You're making the same mistake.
Okay, I'm fallible. I'm human, right?
Yeah.
I'm half man, half wolf. I'm very fallible. I never said I was perfect. It's just people think that.
Okay, then. So let me point it out. I mean, in your constant critique and your focus on the actions of a couple bad examples, you want to generalize and make it all women.
Oh no! I mean, where do we start? The Williams sisters who've got disdain for their dad, who made them into world-class icons. So much disdain for their dad that they both marry white men. Both of them, as he could have been an absent father and left you like your half sister getting shot in a drive-by in Compton while you two are millionaires. Or do we need to talk about Aisha Curry, who publicly says that she doesn't get attention from men because she doesn't have the wherewithal to realize I need to adjust my goals in this relationship? Or do you want me to talk about Gabrielle Union, who publicly talks about tossing her husband salad, may have led to her stepson being gay? Or do we need to talk about Meghan Markle, who goes over to England, marries a guy, and thinks that they're going to treat her properly? Not only is she black, not only is she from another country, she's a commoner. Got to readjust your goals in the relationship, hon. You want me to bring up somebody else?
Are you? No, go ahead. Can you? Go ahead. I want to see how far you want to stretch this nonsense.
But I think I've made my point. You get it. I'm talking to you, not your audience. I'm talking to you. You get it. So you know where I'm coming from. Now, and that's all I
love it when people try to
today.
tell me what I think. I don't get it. I don't know where you're coming from. You sound absolutely ridiculous.
You're a smart guy.
But I mean,
you're a smart guy.
We're both two smart guys. We're both two smart guys.
On your network says.
So I'm not going to go on and on about it. I mean, that's the way you feel. That's the way you feel. But I disagree with you completely.
Well,
and like I said, you're generalizing.
What am I supposed to do
you just took 4 examples, and now you're generalizing all black women.
What am I supposed to deduce from those facts?
I'm just telling you. You took 4 examples, and now you're generalizing. It's like 23 million black women in America, and you came up with 4 examples. Way to go!
Those are the high profile examples. There's examples floating around
in your head,
the cities and the hoods right now.
In your head, some of the things you brought up were preposterous.
I mean, as you see the woman beating the hell out of her mom with a belt.
That's that woman's.
She got PTSD.
That's that woman's issue.
PTSD.
No, see, see what you're doing. You're making a big mistake. You're generalizing. That video, which I haven't seen yet, that's an example of bad behavior on the part of that woman.
Or she's reciprocating the bad behavior that she was a victim of.
Could be.
And she put it on her son, who was too scared to stop it. Instead, he's recording it and putting it on Twitter because she emasculated him.
Well, that's what people do these days. People so caught up with being, getting a lot of followers or plays or whatever. They put anything on Facebook these days, black and white.
You report that to the authorities. But he was so emasculated by this violent, aggressive woman, he don't know what to do.
I think you're projecting. I think you're projecting things that have happened to you into these scenarios. That's what I think. It's just a theory.
Now you're generalizing.
No. I'm hypothesizing. That my hypothesis, I'm hypothesizing because I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from. So the only thing I can come up with is something happened with you with the very same type of black woman that you constantly are bringing up. And so now when these scenarios happen in social media, you keep projecting your own things into it. That's what I think.
I mean, I find that to be kind of
smart,
dissing one of your longtime listeners.
So now so now when I give you some honesty, I'm dissing you.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not dissing you. I'm telling you, I think that you're projecting.
I would never say something like that. That's lightweight foul. I would never say that to you.
Well, I haven't given you a reason to.
Now you're accusing.
I haven't given you a reason to.
The women that raised me of being poor examples. When all I've done was went to being a teacher and just seeing this with my own eyes.
See, now you're projecting. I never said anything about the woman that's raising you.
No,
I never said that.
It's not projecting.
I wasn't even thinking that. What I was thinking is maybe you had some bad, relationships experiences with black women or something. I wasn't even thinking about your family. You're doing it again.
I see this at Walmart all the time.
You're doing it again.
I see this at Walmart all the time, cussing out toddlers.
And you don't say a damn thing. You walk away.
You a damn lie.
You ain't said nothing.
I did stop a woman from doing that one time.
One time?
I did.
But how many times have you seen it, though?
That was the only time it personally affected me.
I asked you that. I said, how many times have you seen it? More than once.
I see it about once every quarter.
All right, then. And you ain't doing nothing about it. You ain't saying nothing.
That's not my job.
Oh,
you get shot. Black folks is crazy nowadays.
Okay.
You get shot, not minding your business. That's all I'm going to get. Well, you going to come pick him up? No, I'm not.
That's exactly what you're going to get. That's exactly
what you're going to get. Why are you laughing?
Because nothing is funnier than the truth.
Epidemic in our community, and you want to make light of it.
I'm not making light of it. I'm saying nothing is funnier than the truth. You're right. You know my motto.
Oh, okay. Well, see, yeah, the fact that you all that, and you end up laughing at the end of the conversation tells you that you know that I was spitting the truth the whole time.
Not
you just
really.
Wanted to fight.
No, not really.
You just wanted to fight. That's all. Brother, I still love you, but I will tell my mother what you said about her yet again.
Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Tell her what you said about her again.
Stop lying to your mother about me.
She's unhappy with you.
I don't know why you're trying to turn your mother against me. Stop lying to your mother about me. Stop.
You told her you shitted on her one time.
What? No, I didn't.
You did. I forget what it said. But she was not happy with you.
I think you told me you told her some BS, but I mean, I can't stop you from saying whatever you're going to say to your mom. Go right ahead.
Old arthritis woman. You insulted her one time.
Now you want to bring your mother into this.
And I told her.
Now you want to bring your mother into this.
You just insulted her again.
How did I insult your mother?
Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
We all good.
Thank you.
I will holler at you at a future boom. Ow!
I'm going to give you about a C+ on that, Hal. That man is crazy. That man is certifiable. No, you just wanted to argue with me. I didn't want to argue with you, but I'm just trying to tell you, man. I mean, just because you say something don't mean it's absolutely right. And let's go back to the conversation. You said that Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump, the attorneys for the Botham Johns family, was somehow out of order for suing the apartment complex where Amber Geiger killed Botham John. And I remember during the trial thinking to myself, like, how the hell the doors don't work no more? Botham John's inside eating ice cream and smoking weed. What I would say is that if a man is in his home in that kind of scenario, he probably think his door is shut and locked. And if there was some kind of manufacturing or during the production of the building, if somebody made some type of an error that made his door less likely to lock and shut through no fault of his own, that might be a factor in this. They may have a case. Like when you get an apartment and they give you the key, you expect that when you lock the door that the door is going to lock. If the door doesn't lock, somebody walks straight into your house and you go back afterward and do an investigation thinking, like, how'd they get in here? The door was locked. And you find out that the door just doesn't lock because of the way they built it. You might have a case. And I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it one bit. Now, this is just them. We don't know. Let me see here. Yeah, they did a lawsuit against the city of Fort Worth, alleging that they failed to properly train the officers. Well, that was another lawsuit, actually. Boy, that's a bad situation. It's a bad situation right there. And like, what if she had gone to the door? The door is completely locked and shut. She tries her key. The key doesn't work because it's the wrong door. What are most people going to do? Well, if you think you sit in front of your door, you're going to look at the key, right? You look at the key like, what the hell? Is it damaged? Is there some kind of debris on it or what's going on? And you're going to try it again. And then after that, you're going to look at your key again, and more than likely, you're going to start looking around like, wait a minute, how could this be happening right now? Right? How could this be happening right now? And if she's really caught up in thinking it's her place, what's she going to do? She's going to knock on the door. Hello, somebody in there? Somebody in there? Then she might start looking around and then realize, oh, it's not my door. But that's not how it happened as I understand it. How I understand it is she tried the door and the door open. And she hears somebody inside. Like, what the hell? You try the door opens, you think it is you. Like I said, I believe that Amber Geiger made a mistake. I don't think that people try to say there was like something personal going on. I mean, I think she made a mistake. I think she was a high or just tunnel vision. I mean, there's some people that step in shit walking through their yard, don't even realize it is shit, walking straight into their house and be like, what the hell is that smell? There's some people like that. There's some people that do all kinds, they just don't pay attention. They got tunnel vision. They're thinking about work. They're thinking about picking up the kids. Thinking about, well, in her case, she was thinking about her boo coming over for a little Netflix and chill with no Netflix and no chilling. But I also believe that she was in it to kill somebody. Like, I think she thought it was her spot and a burglar was inside and there wasn't going to be no investigation. You're going to die today because you made a mistake of coming into an officer's house. That's what I think happened. She decided to be judge, juror, and executioner, probably because that's probably how, some of the officers talk. So I wish they would come to my house. Some of these jokes she was making about MLK Day and all this kind of stuff, Martin Luther King being dead. She figured, oh, okay. You came to my house? Oh, okay, I got you. And took this man out the game. That's what happened. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
What's up, Black Russia?
Not too much. What's happening?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
Hey, I wanted to ask you, did you read that column from Jason Williams? I put the link in the chat room, but I didn't know if you had already read it beforehand.
About the sheriff?
Yeah, about that race. What did you think about that?
I thought that, now what are you asking me exactly?
Well, I guess specifically, what do you think about what Tamaya Denora said? We'll start there, because I think what she said was kind of explosive.
So the quote in which she said, like, if somebody supports Jim Neal, she feels like they're anti-black or anti-LGBTQ. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah.
That quote. And apparently they're saying she said this at the meeting they had on Saturday? Is that
where they were doing the endorsements, right?
So you asked me what I think about what she said?
Yeah, like where do you think that came from? Like what behavior has Jim Neal exhibited that would lead somebody to believe that he's anti-black or anti-LGBTQ?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for Tamaya Denard. I can't. But I can just tell you what I've been reading. What I've been reading is that people were upset that he went to this Trump rally. What I've been reading is that, people are upset about, some of the things that are happening at the Hamilton County jail, just the conditions of it. And that ICE committed they took an arrest or something inside the courthouse. And of course, Jim Neal is in charge of the security of it. And there's a lot of question marks about how they were able to get access and what role the sheriff played in it. So that's what I've heard.
Well, I read this earlier today where apparently Robert Rubin calls ICE and somebody asked for an interpreter.
Did you read that? I did see that. Yeah. Yeah. He's been on the radar screen for a while.
That's not a Jim Neal issue. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if it's necessarily a Jim Neal issue as much because, the judges have wide range of powers. They can get on the phone and call anybody they want.
Yeah, he says he calls ICE about a dozen times a year. That's Robert Rubin.
So, I mean, I'm not sure if you want to put that on Jim Neal. I guess the ultimate question is, Tamaya Denard says this stuff with absolutely no proof is what I read. How can she turn around and say that Jim Neal is, if you support Jim Neal, you anti-black? Alicia Reese, I think, was standing up for Jim Neal. Anti-gay. His opponent, he fired her. There's questions about whether it was because she was gay or whether because it was poor job performance. But I just, it's like liberals are just like they'll play the race card or they'll play the identity politics card, and then don't want to deal with the fact that if you question that and will hide behind their blackness or hide behind their sexual orientation and not have to give any proof of what they're saying. Like that's dangerous. I found that to be kind of troublesome, and I guess the ultimate question is going to be if McGuffey wins the primary and loses the general, was this all worth it?
I would say
this whole purity test.
I would say that those are good questions, and when I get a chance to speak with Tamaya Denard, I'll ask her that, and we can hear directly from herself. What her reasons are. If she,
I wasn't in the room either.
Right, I wasn't there. I wish I was now. At some point, I'm not sure if I can get into that room. I'm not sure how those rules work, but
yeah, there was reporters. I think they helped me got in there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So definitely could have got in, but I was doing some other things and on that particular Saturday. But I would say, so who is Jim Neal? Who's the Republican?
It's a police lieutenant named Bruce Hoffmeyer, and supposedly, from what I understand, he's pretty popular amongst the police department.
Okay.
I never met the dude, but I hear he's popular.
Okay. Popular. Why?
So that's the Republican.
Why is he popular? Okay. I don't know. I don't know either. If Jim Neal loses the primary and then Charmaine McGuffey loses in a general election, that would be interesting. I mean, I would say it all depends on why. Like, for instance, like if I had issues with Jim Neal and just thought he was a bad candidate and a bad representative, then that's how I feel, whether we win the general or not. You know, because you got to stand for what you stand for, regardless of whatever the outcome is going to be. And if that's how I felt, then I'll be okay with it. So that's just me personally. I can't speak for anybody else.
Right, but I mean, let's say you're a party boss. You know, if you're in the Democratic Party,
right.
You know, in that, and you're looking at controlling because
it looks like. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but just to finish the point, then I'll give you the floor. But a couple things. I mean, Tamaya Denard did not make that decision by herself. Clearly, there were a majority of people who voted who agree with her, but I'm sure that they were influenced by her as being one of the.
Well, I don't know if they agree with her, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, they might agree with the endorsement aspect of it, but I'm not sure if they agree with the fact that if you support Jim Neal, then you don't support black people or you don't support the LGBTQ community. I think those two things can be mutually exclusive. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I'm just saying you can support Jim Neal and still support black people or still support LGBT. It's like the identity politics aspect of it. Like she said, well, if you support Jim Neal, then you can't like black people or you can't like gay people.
But see, be careful about that, though. See, one thing, and I know you got your own motivations, but be careful about that because.
No, there's no motivation behind it. I'm asking a real legit question. Yeah. I mean, I think there's black folks who like Jim Neal.
No, I think it's a fair conversation. I think it's a fair conversation. I'm glad you called in and brought it up. But what I would say is be careful about that because the media kind of put this out as if Tamaya Denard's rationale is the reflection of why everybody had a problem with Jim Neal. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think she was speaking for herself. That's how I take it. There might be other people who voted against Jim Neal for other reasons. And they didn't get any quotes. And they didn't get any quotes, and their name's not going to be in the paper. You know, I think Tamaya Denard's quotes is reflective of her and how she felt about it.
I get that, but she's elected, bro. Like the way you can't. I mean, you coming out here saying if you support Jim Neal, then you can't like black people or you can't like gay people. I mean, and she got that type of platform to get voted. You know, it sends the wrong message. It's like you know, it's this identity politics game. It's the Democrats are trying to play this, and they're going to mess around with the sheriff's race.
And that's the reason why her quote is in the article and not some of the quotes from the other people that may have had other rationale, because, you know, what she said is a more sizzle to it.
Oh, there's no question there's sizzle to that, because, I mean, it's over the top. I mean, you basically have said that if you support Jim Neal, then you can't support black people, you can't support gay people. Like, that's what she's saying,
right? Because that's how she feels.
But the thing about it is, she's projecting that. She's not saying that just for herself. She's projecting that image of people in the room. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The identity politics aspect of it is these Democrats is going to mess around and lose this seat because of identity politics. That's what I'm saying. Jason Williams, if you read the article, I think he makes a lot of sense because people are not supposed to question that. Like, she can just say that and people are not supposed to ask that question. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, because
I think people should ask the question. I think she should be asked that question. And something tells me she's going to have an answer. I'm sure she can articulate why she said what she said. But again, that's the nature of the media. There are probably a lot of reasons why people voted against Jim Neal. But he's writing just about Tamaya Denard because he wants to do a story about identity politics. All I'm telling you is who knows why the majority of the Democrats voted against him. It doesn't have to be necessarily because of what Tamaya Denard said. That's how she feels. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
I get what you're saying, but as she's in there trying to influence people to think like that. That's what I'm saying, and I'm just saying that the identity politics is tired, bro. It's tired. Like that's if that's what they're going to do, they're going to mess around. If I'm in the Democratic Party, I'm concerned about this race because of exactly what happened. Now, you know, they can vote how they want. I'm not a Democrat, But the reality is, they go just on the outside looking in. It's like they rather lose. It's almost like the the national election. Like they're gonna go through this purity test, and they'd rather lose the election to Trump and get a candidate that they want to idolize. You know, that's what this looks like to me.
Yeah, but the other thing, look at it this way, though. Really, there's nothing to lose. If you really think about it, like if you're a Democrat and you look at Jim Neal as a closet Republican, well, you might as well have a Republican. What's the difference? What are you really losing?
I think people would say that there's a big difference still in Jim Neal and his opponent. You got to look at the numbers that he was running. Jim Neal's like unstoppable in the general election.
Okay,
he beating everybody.
Okay. Well, what has Jim Neal done for us lately?
But what is Jim Neal supposed to do? He's the sheriff. It's like the sheriff's supposed to be believing in abortion. Like, you know, like these are the issues that came up from what I'm reading. You know, abortion, you know, LGBTQ rights, immigration. Like, that's not on the sheriff. Like, he has a totally different function than your average legislator. He's not a legislator. He's law enforcement. Like his stuff is supposed to be tied to, you know, enforcing the law as it relates to, you know, policing. This is not like a super duper political position as it relates to creating policy. And that's the danger in that too. Like you putting policy in the sheriff's office, like national policy, like abortion and gay rights and all this other stuff, and that's not the function of the sheriff. I'm just saying the Democrats are going to mess around and lose that seat, and if they want to lose that seat, they're going to probably back McGuffey. I mean, it's one of those deals where it's just, you know, what is the leadership doing? What are they thinking? They finally getting the county to go blue, and they rather give the seat back on a purity test. And, you know, and these politicians want to talk about, well, if you support Jim Neal and you don't support black folks, you don't support gay. I'm like, nobody. That's craziness. It's stupid.
Well, I mean, I don't think you're entitled to your opinion. Just as Tamaya Denard is. You know what I'm saying? So you think what she said is crazy, and I'm sure she thinks what she said is substantive and valid. Sounds like we got a difference of opinion.
Yeah, difference of opinion, but I'm just saying, like, where's the proof that Jim Neal don't like black people or gay people? Where is that at? I mean, it's cool to say, I get that, but where's the proof? That's what I'm asking, and I think people are asking that question. Like, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. Like, prove that he don't like black people. Prove that he don't like gay people. You know, just saying if you support him, you don't like black people. Like, well, where do you get that from?
And I think
she's entitled to think what she wants to think, but I'm saying, what is that thought based on?
And if I remember correctly, in this particular article, I think she says, "In my opinion." I think that's what she even included.
Opinion, but what is that opinion based on? Where did she get that from? People can have all types of opinions.
Right.
I'll talk my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to base my opinion, like them messing up this race, this is based in fact. Charmaine Guffey's so far left. This is what happened in the mayor's race. You know, they put out Yvette Simpson super far left.
How is she so far left? And what is Charmaine McGuffey to the left on when it comes to Jim Neal or the Republican candidate?
Dude, she can't even get an FBI clearance. Like, she got all types of problems. I mean, that's law enforcement stuff. That's my point. Like, Charmaine McGuffey and Jim Neal just being this left center stuff, that doesn't make any difference in that race. This is about who could be the best sheriff. Now, people will make that decision, but, you know, the reality is if we talk about straight, you know, policy about abortion and gay rights and all that stuff don't matter in the sheriff's race, but people want to make that into something substantive in the sheriff's race. I'm just saying that stuff don't play in the sheriff's race. But I guess identity politics does.
Well, I mean, everybody plays identity politics, right? And everybody criticizes.
I think the Democrats play that more than Republicans.
Nah.
I don't see too many Republicans playing identity politics.
No, they don't. I think it's about the same. I think both sides do that.
I think the Democrats play. We'll disagree on that one. I think the Democrats play it more than the Republicans.
And I think people play it to their advantage. Like, people hate identity politics until they're using it, and they're using it to their advantage. That's what I see. But again, we can agree to disagree. Anything else?
Yeah. Did you watch Zion or you watch any highlights?
I did see Zion. He's a big man with a lot of fast twitch muscles, and he's got a lot of skills. And I'm still worried about the fact that I'm just worried about his knees. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're doing, but he's been landing and jumping with such ferocity with that kind of weight. And then your knock knee, that's a recipe for a lot of knee injuries. So we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, that knee been bad since Duke when you tore that shoe.
I think I'm going to stand by what I said. I think Zion's a bust until proven otherwise.
You think he's a bust? That's strong.
I think he's a bust. I don't think he's a perennial all-star. And I think he's going to be hit with the injury bug a lot. That's what I think. Until he brings his weight down. And then when he brings his weight down, he's not as dangerous. But we'll see. I could be completely wrong.
I'm not. The jury's out. You might be right. I mean, I didn't watch any of it, but for him to he just played his first NBA game last night. It's like mid to late January. He's, he ain't gonna be rookie of the year.
Oh, that's not gonna happen. No. And
right, so.
we'll see. He only played like 20-something minutes, so we'll see. I say bust at this point because of injury. Because if he was 6'8", I would say otherwise. But he's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, he's small.
So
comparatively speaking,
tall is always going to be better in basketball if you got skills. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
He's no LeBron. That's for damn sure. Hey, take it easy.
He ain't LeBron. Yeah, he ain't LeBron.
He is not LeBron.
There's very few players. There'll never be another LeBron. Like there'll never be another Jordan.
Right. Or another Kobe. All right, man. Take it easy.
Kobe. Right. All right, you too.
Yeah, most def. That's Black Russia. He says Tamaya DeMar needs to be called out. And where's the proof that Jim Neal is racist or against gays and lesbians? Where's the proof? All right. Again, I think the only person who can answer that question is Tamaya Denard. And I would just say you got to be careful about how these media types, like Jason Williams, is a very smart man. He goes to this thing. I'm sure he talked to a lot of people there, but he uses Tamaya Denard's quote because then he can run with the whole identity politics thing. You know what I'm saying? And I would say that sure there were a lot of people there who would listen to what Tamaya Denard has to say for obvious reasons. But it doesn't mean that they made their decision for the reasons that she made her decision. Like sometimes you can arrive at the same conclusion coming from two different paths. But Jason Williams, his article will have you believe that everybody made their decision because of what Tamaya Denard said. And that's what he wants you to think. And just intellectually, that doesn't make sense. I'm sure there's a lot of people that, for whatever their own personal, professional reasons, had a problem with Jim Neal. And so they pulled the trigger on him. And here he is, the incumbent, right? What is his third term? And yet they endorse his challenger, Charlene McGuffey. Now, Jim Neal, obviously third term, has a name, obviously has a base. Will he be able to basically, to outstrip the power of the Democrat nomination and the Democrat backing coming up in the primary? We'll see. We'll see. Let me see. I am going to reach out to Sheriff Neal today to see if we can get him on the show. And he can tell us directly as to who he is and give his thoughts on why he lost the Democrat nomination and anything else that might be on his dome. And of course, we can talk about the particular policies. What are we looking for in a Hamilton County sheriff? That's big for Charmaine McGuffey, right? Because if you are somebody who's trying to primary an incumbent, like that's big. Here you are, a challenger to a three-time incumbent, and you get the endorsement. That's huge. Is this Jim Neal right here? I can tell you why Jim Neal lost the endorsement. It's because of what he was dressed, what he was wearing. The hell? Woodstock much? And then the other thing is, I can see that Jim Neal has a sense of humor because he's got a red hat on, right? And from a distance, you're thinking Jim Neal, it might be a MAGA hat. but it reads United Steelworkers District. So come on now. People think you're a Trumpster, and then Jim Neal shows up with a red hat on with white lettering. You know, he was trying to make a point. Like, oh, okay. Oh, everybody's going to assume, oh, see, it's not really a Trump hat, right? He lost a nomination for this weird outfit he has on. That's why he lost it. What in the hell? Who put that ensemble together? Clearly, he wasn't feeling good that day. Got a red hat on, a blue shirt, and what appears to be, I don't even know how to describe this. This jacket he's got, I just say Woodstock. He's got a Woodstock jacket on. Like, it looks like he actually wore it to Woodstock. That's why he didn't get the nomination. Because you're out here making people look bad. That's why. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nate. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Hey, D Wizzle in the house. How are you?
Hey, what up, D Wizzle? What's going on, man? Congrats. Congrats, man, on the engagement.
Oh, thank you much.
Absolutely, brother. Black love is beautiful. But how you doing?
It is, truly. Very well. Hey, I heard the interview yesterday. I was wondering, I put in the chat room if you were going to interview, or maybe I missed it, Connie or Alicia for the Hamilton County
absolutely.
Commissioner race.
100%.
Okay. And I just heard, just listened to Black Russia. I put in the chat room. I don't know if he'll respond or not. But he mentioned Charmaine, I think McGuffey is her name. She was ineligible for security clearance. I think he said she couldn't be cleared by the FBI or something like that.
Yeah, he said something like that.
Yeah, I just implore that he keep it 100 because I know he probably has details that a lot of us don't. I read an article a while ago that there were inter-office politics being played, and they have a process for which if you end up on this particular list, it's like a law enforcement situation where if you do want to get higher level or secret clearance, security clearance, it makes you ineligible if you have, like, say if we were school kids and you have a demerit, have 3 or 4 demerits before you get a detention in class. This is relative to that process. And what I gained from that was there was actually inter-office politics, and they know how to give their officers these demerits to keep them back. And I gained that it was intentionally done to keep her away from things. So if Black Russia has any information he'd like to share with us, I'll be interested in hearing that, because it's all politics. And it all happened about the time that she was, it was rumored that she was going to run for sheriff. So prior to that, she had got high level annual work performance reports and things on her. So I just found that very interesting.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, D Wizzle, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Peace.
Yeah, most deaf. That's D Wizzle right there. Yeah, I saw the brother got recently engaged. That's a beautiful thing, man. Nothing like love. Nothing like it. Finding a partner. Y'all vibe with it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all start building together. Either even later in life. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Yeah, but back to Jim Neal. So that's why he lost the nomination. Have you seen this photograph of Jim Neal? What? And you can tell he's got a sense of humor. It's like, that's the Hamilton County Sheriff? Damn. See, Kelly Prather's in the room. Okay. Oh, man. Fanon, and that's who Fame was talking about that he ran into. He said he ran into Gabe Davis yesterday. He gonna do an interview doing my interview. I'm like, okay, man. We doing that now. see. Hamilton County Democrats endorsed the 0.8% sales tax increase to pay for better bus service. Hooray, hooray. The tax would raise $100 million a year for the bus system, plus $30 million a year for roads and bridges. And that could be used to fix, among other things, the Western Hills Viaduct. So a lot of news there. So now we know why Jim Neal did not get the nomination, because he dresses weird. Like, what the hell? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I've got a few minutes left in the show this morning. 513-873-7134. If you like to share your thoughts and get into the show. I'm hoping to get together a conversation with Iris Rowley and Al Gerharstein to talk about, their ideas on some of the reforms and changes that can be put in place so that there can be a better relationship between law enforcement, the police, the Cincinnati police in particular, and our community here in the city of Cincinnati. Okay, so that might be tomorrow. I got to confirm with them to see if that works. But I think it's very good information that we can use here as we move forward into these highly charged politically times. I mean, so my thing is that if they have good ideas, these are some of the things that we're looking for from our elected officials to support, for those that have the responsibility over these kind of particular issues. But that'll be hopefully tomorrow. I've got to confirm with them. Also, I am looking for, well, you know what? I'll wait to share that with you. I'll share that with you next week, actually. I'll share that with you next week. 513-873-7134. Just a few minutes left here in the show. If you can get in, about 3 minutes left in the program this morning. Hold on. Shout out to Ask Ashley this morning. What's going on? One of my pisses moves in here. Okay. I like. I love it. Let me see if I can get some more of your chat in here. And I'm definitely going to jump over some. Hold on. Let me jump over right here. Let's see. Dressing like a hippie, but you're a Trumpster. McGuffey appears on the Brady list twice. The first time she was listed for as an arrest outside a bar in Covington, where she was charged with public intoxication, disorderly conduct, and menacing. She received a 5-day suspension without pay from her job with the sheriff's office as a result of this arrest. But former Sheriff Simon Leach Jr. allowed her to keep her position as a deputy in his office. Take a pic out on the block speaking to some young black men, Jim. Right. You got to take the Steve Meagerly approach. Yeah, get you some photographs of black kids. Beowulf writes, I didn't interview anyone. We talked, nothing official. Oh my God. So sensitive. Sounds like Trump-style politics to me at Black Russia. She's his rival, so he put her on that list. Black CG Dub writes, Black Russia, yeah, that sounds like a lie to me. Tanika writes, congrats to D Wizzle. Absolutely. That is great. I love it. Damn, I wish I didn't have to go, but I do. TNT writes, as your queen, you have been dismissed. Remember, I can say what I want to whoever I want. If you don't like it, log out. Clue Magic writes, so Jason Williams called them all lemmings then. D Wizzle writes, Black Russia, keep it 100, please. Female sheriff candidate had inter-office politics played through a ratings process by Jim Neal to intentionally rate her ineligible for high security clearance. I've heard that as well. Mike Jones writes, Zion is a cross between Barkley and Larry Johnson. No one has ever said that, Mike Jones. I think you're right. That is a great comparison there. You're right. You're right about that. 100%. If he had the size of Larry Johnson, but you know what? I think we're missing one element here, and that's the ball handling. Zion, to me, was a better ball handler than either one of them. So we're missing We're missing one parent, right? There's one more ingredient to that. I agree with the Barkley. I agree with the Larry Johnson, but he's got a touch. His dribbling touch is a lot better than either one of them ever were, I think. TNT writes, Dr. King played to the emotion of white people to evoke the change. Those in history that used fear to maintain power used it to keep U.S. oppressed. Mason Muller writes, Nate hating on Zion because when Nate was Zion's age, he thought he was Zion Williamson of the Friars Club, LOL. When I played, I was a lot more slim, actually. I don't know. I think my game was more of like, I don't know. But no, that has nothing to do with it. But that's funny, though. That's hilarious. No, I'm not hating on anybody. I wish the brother the best. I'm just giving you my analysis. I hope that I'm wrong. Hope he becomes a super big star. That'd be great for him. It's not going to pay me anything, but it'd be great for him. So no, I'm not hating. I'm just saying that being knock-kneed in basketball is not a good thing, especially if you a high-flying dunker. You know, the force you come down with over and over again. You know, when you're a young boy, it's nothing. But when you get to your late 20s, 30s, that's when you start to feel it. I bet LeBron James is, I don't know, he's different, though. I mean, he's probably taking care of his body in a way that an average Joe never could even think of. So he's probably different. Mason Muller writes, Jared Kushner can't get FBI clearance. What's your point? Martin Luther King probably couldn't get FBI clearance. Cam writes, Jim Neal recently opened up the Justice Center as a warming center for the homeless, fed them as well. It's great. Well, see, for me, I mean, I don't have anything to say necessarily about Jim Neal other than the conditions of the Hamilton County. Well, number one, I thought going to the Trump thing was a bad look. It was a bad look. It was a bad look on any levels because what you're doing locally is sending a message that Trump's okay and that Trumpian politics are okay. And that's a bad look. But what about the conditions at the Hamilton County Justice Center? Like, for me, that should be more of an issue than him going to a Trump rally. You know what I'm saying? For me personally. You know, because we're going to have a Hamilton County Justice Center. People are going to be incarcerated. I think it says something about the humanity and, you know, how serious people are about dignity for all people in terms of the conditions of our jail. You know, I don't think jail should necessarily be a resort, but I think it can be a lot more of a rehabilitative process than what it is right now. You know, I'm all for it. I don't mind these brothers or whoever is being locked up getting a good meal. That I don't have a problem with that. Like, to me, it doesn't have to be bologna sandwiches. And the other thing is that if it costs money, so what? That's the price of incarcerating our brothers and sisters, right? Our fellow citizens. It costs money. You know, I would probably be a lot more progressive than Jim Neal is in terms of what I think should happen with the jail. But that's why he is the Hamilton County Sheriff, because people don't want progressives in that place. What they want is somebody's going to lock them up and be tough. That's what they want. But there were very bad things that were said and a lot of dangerous scenarios. I talked to somebody who just came out to JC last year. He was incarcerated like a year ago. He was in there. And when he got out, man, you know, he was talking about, you know, the conditions of his body. You know what I'm saying? Some medical situations got worse. Now, people will say, well, that's why you don't want to go to jail. You're right. But I think there's a humanity that we need to bring to even people who are incarcerated. And in some cases, these are people who are waiting for trial. You know, and there's various degrees of crimes. I just don't think that we benefit from when people get out and they're like desperate, destitute, malnourished. I don't think that we benefit. That's just me. I look at things a little differently. Identity politics are tired. Like, build that wall. TNT writes, I was agreeing, Nathan, fool, you whack. Jason Williams is Peter Bronson Jr. To me, Peter Bronson had a different style. Peter Bronson had a different style, and he just had a different writing style. I just feel like Peter Bronson's voice was a little bit different. But in terms of a white male in Cincinnati writing about politics, I mean, I guess so. I don't know. How would Jason Williams look at that? I don't know. You know, we haven't talked to Jason Williams on the show, have we? I'll reach out. TNT writes, all words from a wounded wolf. Lick your paws, little wolf. And remember, I am one important thing. I don't give a fuck, she writes. Mason Marler writes, MF, Jim Neal, and John Wayne. I didn't know how John Wayne really was, because as a kid, he sold to you like some kind of action movie star. A man's man, a tough guy, an American, and a racist. Tamaya may have a bad personal experience with Jim. She may have. And again, as I said, just be careful, Black Russia, because you kind of fell for the Jason Williams bait. That's exactly what he wants you to think. That's exactly where he wants you to go. Oh my God. Well, I don't know. I cannot speak for another human being. I do not know why Tamaya Dinar said what she said. Okay, so Fame wants me to say he didn't interview anyone. He was just talking with him. Okay, man. Jeez, okay, I got you. Beowulf writes, I do hate black women, TNT, especially you. See, we told you. For you to even say that to her, so disrespectful. Drop writes, Black Russia is on time for some real clear Cincinnati politics. That was the same sound that choked out Coyote made. Right. Morning Choppers came in late from early morning PT. There was an old white woman there who went on a loud ass rant about hating Hillary and blaming everything Trump is going through on Obama. She says he's behind the scenes. Jim Jones would be unstoppable if he was alive today with these mofos. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I got a message here. Okay, I'll call you back. Personal message. I don't want to leave, but I'm about to go do the NAACP podcast. We'll be streaming live at 1 p.m. today. And they've got an event coming up later on today over at the Community Action Agency that if you're interested in getting more information about the primaries, you know, this is educational, doing it for the community. And please check it out. I'm sure they'll be streaming it on their Facebook page as well. And they'll be chopping it up and talking about it on today's podcast. Never know how things are going to go. What is this? What is this now? Lakeisha posted this 1 minute ago. Thank you, Lakeisha. She writes, it's saddening to me how she, like so many others, are emboldened to speak out about LGBTQ rather than racial offenses. This is obvious because the LGBTQ are organized and provide the protection and refuge needed in times of backlash and pushback. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Thank you for the post, Carolyn. Hamilton County Judge Robert Rubin, I call ICE. Yeah, his name comes up quite a bit, and it's always on some negative stuff. Like every time his name comes up, it's always something negative. A judge ruled that the lawsuit filed by the Plush family can continue. We talked about that yesterday morning. It can continue because the city of Cincinnati doesn't want to be responsible for the life of Kyle Plush. Much like the city of Cincinnati public schools don't want to be responsible for the life of Gabriel Tay. Yeah, it's like, we ain't responsible. Well, who is responsible? I like that. Transgender woman CeCe Telfer wins NCAA championship. Is this real? CeCe Telfer won the women's 400-meter hurdles national title at the 2019 NCAA Division II Outdoor Track and Field Championships in May. Now, how in the hell can you be born a man and then join the women's track team and compete as a woman? It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. What needs to happen is that I think that to be fair, transgenders should have their own championships. But see, when you start separating it, people are going to say, well, that's wrong. That's an ism. That's bias. That's discrimination. But if you got a female athlete, physiologically a female athlete, at the top of the charts, top of the tier on the national level, that female athlete physiologically is not going to be as fast and strong as a man who's been working out. This is a travesty. It's a travesty. I'd be pissed. And these women, I mean, what should happen is there should be a public outcry. There should be a public outcry and a public shaming. I'm sorry. That's what should happen, because I don't disrespect your right to be an athlete. You're an athlete. You can be a transgender athlete. But how is it fair to you to be a transgender man who's now living as a woman and you're competing against other physiological women? Does that make any sense? That is the dumbest I've ever heard of. Who's this? That is the dumbest I've ever heard in my entire life. That makes no sense. Just throw out the rules of fairness. And these natural born women line up against this man. And they got to keep their game face because society says you can't say anything. Got to keep your game face, right? And they go out here and compete their best. But you're going to come up short. Let me look at this right here. This is crazy. I'm looking at the race right now. I'm looking at the race. I'm looking at the race, and you see all these women out here, and then you see this man with long hair dominating the field. Like anybody who goes over and gives them a high five. But see, that's the world we live in. People are completely narcissistic these days. People are completely caught up with themselves. Self-importance is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? And to CC Telfer, all she cares about is winning. And just think about that. The fact that CC Telfer can change her gender and then immediately become a national champion is proof positive that women's sports need protection. I ain't even going to get into it. I'll leave it right there. That's a little flow for you. That's crazy. That is proof positive that women's sports needs naturally born women. Their sports need to be protected. Could you imagine your daughter? Like my daughter is going to a track and field event tonight. Like she's going to stay after school. It's going to be one of those days. But I got a message this morning. She wants to stay after school so she can go to a informational about track and field. So she gets out there and lines up against a boy. I said, how is that fair? This is crazy. It's inside the Friends page. If you're interested, you can check it out. But that is my time. I've got to make a move. Thank you for being here. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and we will chop it up. All right. I think Donnie B will be back as well tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. Is It Just Me podcast. She's been out sick and dealing with bronchitis. You ever had bronchitis? Man, listen. You'll be feeling it for a month, depending on, how strong you are and what you get hit with. But listen, have an excellent day. I'll be back with you, as I said, bright and early tomorrow morning, and we'll chop it up. I'm Nathan Ivey. Remember, winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. Stay focused, stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm out.